Imagine a world where Iceland had pronounceable names. Actually, that would probably mean that the British got there first, and we all know that the last thing they need is another island. It's the late 800s, and the Vikings are going through somewhat of a midlife crisis. Raiding is fun and all, but after a while you just get tired. Your back is all messed up from carrying all that loot, your knees are weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on your sweater already, mom's spaghetti. This dude named Ingolfur Arnarsson had heard about this rock in the middle of nowhere and figured that since he was currently involved in a blood feud, it'd be a great place for him to skedaddle. According to the sagas, he decided the location of his settlement by dropping some pillars into the water and then finding where they washed up, but that's dumb, so I think it went like this. Look, smoke! That's not smoke, it's steam from a hot spring. That'll keep us warm in the winter, and provide us with an abundance of geothermal energy. What is that? Have you been smoking again? The settlement was named Reykjavik after the smoke from the cove, and the pattern of unpronounceable location names began. Other people in Scandinavia soon heard about this island, and since it was literally free real estate, a ton of other people struck out into the North Atlantic to settle the area. As mentioned in the previous episode, kings in Scandinavia were beginning to strengthen their authority back at home and create centralized states, which wasn't super popular with the freewheeling types. This would have made the unsettled Iceland an attractive opportunity for many. However, by the 980s, even Iceland was too bossy for the edgiest Vikings, and this guy named Eric the Red left the island to find some land for himself. He ended up sailing into an even colder and less hospitable island somehow, and decided to name it Greenland as a sort of nifty marketing trick, which kind of worked because some people showed up and started to build houses or whatever. It's important to mention that the Earth was unusually warm during the 10th century, which made Greenland slightly easier to farm on. However, it was still tough going, so Iceland remained a far more popular destination. Later, Eric the Red's son, Leif Erikson, took some boats across the pond and discovered America. He started a little settlement, but all their houses were made out of dirt and the idea of colonization wasn't really a thing yet, so, you know. Meanwhile, back in Iceland, Europe decided that pagans sucked and ended up converting Iceland, which brought the island even further under European influence. People were pretty worried that this was going to cause a civil war, but Iceland was like, alright guys, we are a Christian nation now. That means that you aren't allowed to burn people in ships and worship Odin and stuff, but as long as you do it in your basement, I'm not saying that we won't care, I'm just saying that we probably won't find out. Also, we're in the middle of nowhere, so what's the Pope gonna do, launch a crusade? Greenland was doing less well since the Earth started to cool down and they were literally living on a glacier. The population slowly began to dwindle and eventually the Norse colony disappeared from historical records completely. Iceland was fine though.